Hello, and welcome to video number 3 in our CBD class series. All right, we've been through a lot of the information that I gave you about what a lot of our hesitations are and what some of the things are that you have to worry about and whether or not this is illegal. And we learned in the last video what CBD actually is. But did you know that the cannabis plant was written about thousands of years ago, even before Christ? The plant was an important part of agriculture. This makes sense, doesn't it? Because essential oils were an important part of agriculture all those years ago. People lived off the land. This is all we had. So the cannabis plant and the hemp, even the mind-altering part, were used for a lot of things. But most of the reasons they loved the cannabis hemp plant was because of what you could do with the product. It was used to make clothing. It was used to make sails and sailboats and rope. It was an important part of commerce, of industry. It was actually a required crop used by kings and even the early settlers in this country. It was an important part of agriculture. I had no idea. Even the medicinal part was something that was written about and was used. But because the marijuana portion of the plant is a mind-altering substance, people had a lot of fear, and perhaps there was some abuse, just like there is with any mind-altering substance. So around about the 70s, it became illegal. Not just marijuana, but so did hemp. There was a lot of misunderstanding, and maybe Congress just didn't trust us to be able to use our head. But the entire crop, the entire industry became illegal, and this was a shame. A lot of people were arguing about it for decades. I remember being in my early 20s reading about Woody Harrelson trying to make hemp legal, and I just figured, oh, the guy just, wants legal pot. I dismissed it. Did you? I didn't understand. He talked about, clothing, and I just pictured like communes and people named Rain and, live, love, free loving kind of a thing. I misunderstood it. Most of us did. I had a lot of fear. Thankfully, people argued about it and kept using the hemp products and kept that fight going. It's similar to the essential oil fight, isn't it? Why take this important part of nature away from us? Just for fear? No, education over fear. So this started to change, and even doctors and healthcare advocates started to understand that, hey, we need to realize that this is an important product and we have to figure out what it does. And those things have helped us out a lot. Young Living was poised to begin offering us a CBD product. They have been studying this for a long time. They even had a farm all ready to go in Colorado, but there were some legal roadblocks. However, at the end of 2018, there was a breakthrough. So I'm going to read to you about the Hemp Farming Act of 2018. This was a proposed law to remove hemp, which is defined as cannabis with having less than 0.3 THC, from the Scheduled 1 controlled substances and making it an ordinary agriculture commodity. Its provisions were incorporated in the 2018 United States Farm Bill that became law on December 20, 2018. So, did that mean anything to you? At the time, it was still very confusing because I really wasn't even sure what THC was or how much you should have or any of that. So I am going to help you through that in these series of classes as well. But the thing to remember was that it now became legal to trade this. There were still some roadblocks. There were some roadblocks in banking. There still kind of are. The banking industry has a lot of fear of this. So for a long time, this was only done with offshore banking, which was why Young Living did not offer this product until the summer of 2019. We had to clear those roadblocks because Young Living is sold in all of the states, and they wanted it available to everybody in the United States. It is currently still a United States product. It is not an international product at this point, but we're hoping that that changes. So the federal law made some changes. Then there was some changes in banking and industry. So we are there enough to bring it to you at this point, but there is some things you do have to understand. Your bottle of CBD, they all pretty much look like this. Not every state is super friendly. Even though it is legal in all 50 states now, there is still a lot of fear. And places such as airports and even Disney World and places like that, they can decide what is brought onto planes, and they can decide what is brought into their amusement park. You may have heard a story about Grandma getting arrested at Disney because of her CBD. It is true. There is no CBD at the time of this filming that is currently allowed in Disney. They have the right to say that. It's iffy about airline travel. My suggestion to you is to not bring it with. You don't want to take it out of your suitcase, and you don't want an overworked, super busy TSA agent at Christmas time going to Florida or something, having to sit there and distinguish whether or not this is a mind-altering substance or not. You just don't. There's still too many laws about there about that are iffy about legalized use of marijuana, and because you don't want to make people uncomfortable and put them in a situation about whether or not you're taking a substance on the plane that is CHD with very little THC or something that has a lot of THC. Just don't put yourself in that position, and don't put other people in that position. THC, remember, is the component in marijuana that promotes the mind-altering scenario. So, I'm going to end this video by saying I'm not your pot teacher. I'm not going to teach you anything about marijuana. Legalized, medical, none of that. I'm only here to talk to you about CBD and what all these little terms mean. So that's it for now, and join me again for video 4. Thank you. Bye.